Alright guys, Father Time. I'm really excited about this video because I got a special invite by FSiPanel, the developer JP, captain for Middle East Airline, a sim instructor, everything who's the lone developer. You got to get FSiPanel 2020 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'll leave a link in the description. It's down here in the corner for the name of it. But this is a little bit nervous, I gotta admit. So Boeing 777-300 PMDG, the beautiful PMDG 777-300. We're gonna go out of Frankfurt on this new profile, which is EDDF. Right there, Frankfurt. We've got to set the weather to the preset weather we downloaded from FSiPanel. It's British Airways 903. There it is, PW 903. Not a very nice day. And we've got to come back in here. And we've got to find our gate, which is D1. I got this off the lesson plan. Gate D88844. D1 is D1A. We're at D1. All right, so we got the weather set. We're at Frankfurt, gate D1. That's exactly what they told us to do. We filed the flight plan via FSiPanel, which is right here. It's, as I mentioned, it's Frankfurt to London, about a block time of 137, a flight time of 109, at an altitude of 32,000 feet. What could go wrong? Nothing. Weather's pretty stinky. If you take a look here, let me take a look. Well, JP, right now on the ATIS, we'll get that in just a second. Oh, by the way, this is one of the aircraft, and we'll show you here in a second, that is fully covered by FSiPanel. So we'll get that started here in a second. And I'll be right back when this thing boots up and we're at Frankfurt. Here we go. I just love this stuff. And there we are at the gate in Frankfurt. The weather is it's preset weather, not live. 270 at 6 kilometers, moderate rain, overcast 800, temperature 26, dew point 18, altimeter 1011. Heavy rain showers are intermittent. So we're going to go in here. Look at this beautiful machine. I retired off this thing with American Airlines in September of 2023. Today is July 12th, 2024. So it's been about 10 months. Here we go. It's booting up. Now, I'm going to start FSiPanel because we have power on the aircraft at the gate. And I want to just go through the procedures for doing this because I know after you watch this, you guys are going to want to get it. I'll give you a real quick and dirty. You don't really need me. I have a bunch of videos out if you go to my playlist for a bunch of different aircraft. A new training scenario is available for my aircraft. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Here we go. We got to make sure you get 777-300 EDDF Frankfurt runway 25 center. You can do these presets for approaches. You can do failures. This airplane is one of the blessed few. See the Mad Dog, Leonardo Mad Dog, PMDG, 73, and now 777. These fly-by-wire and headwinds, any builds, Phoenix, and then we got some on the beta program, the wannabes. Here we come, TFDi MD-11, part of their quality assurance team. Love these guys, great airplane. Any builds, A310, A300. These kind of think of them as betas. These other ones are fully integrated, and this is really cool because we're in one of them, the 777, right out of the block that got integrated. So let's go to Open Scenario Manager. We have our mic switch enabled, our push to talk, our readback, our voice and text. Instead of only voice, we got all that set. We got our flows set under options. This is our controller flows. I set a button on my hostage stick for that, and real cool. Done a bunch of videos on this using all the different features, the approaches, everything. Go to FSiPanel and you'll love it. Today is just a scenario. It's a scenario using the 777-300. So you click on Scenario Manager. There it is. In green means it's already been downloaded. Okay, and that's a 777-300. Click on it. It's already started. A lesson plan. I've already looked at it. all this stuff, read it over, just like always. I write down a bunch of information on here, like I would for a real flight, for my clipboard. That aside, and really cool. And that's all set. I downloaded it, and we're at. Let's go. Training scenarios, and click on the one you want, Frankfurt, and start training. And now I want you guys to love what you're about to see. So this is nothing loaded here. Downloading scenario pack. Keep your feet off the rotor pedals, Captain. Don't push any buttons, and watch the magic. This thing is going to start setting up. It's downloaded scenario pack. It's going to set the box for me. It's going to set, you can look around, that's one thing. It's going to set the glacial control panel. We're going to skip all the usual stuff I do. Oh, you know what? My yoke buttons aren't really working here. There we go. All right, so there you go. You're starting to see it get loaded up. He's put in the bugs. Really important you don't change these bugs. You have to have the bugs in the lesson plan. It tells you. Read the lesson plan real closely on these things. You can see FSiPanel loading up the box for me. They do load SIDs. They load stars. Don't update the winds. Leave the winds alone. PMDG has a feature you can update winds. Don't do it. Leave the winds alone. Leave the bugs alone, because a lot of the things that could happen to you are based on the bugs and the winds. So he's doing everything for you. It says scenario starts now. Contact clearance delivery. ATIS available on 2345. And I would guess, when I look down here, yes ma'am, 2345 is already set for me. Thank you very much. FSiPanel. Let's listen to the ATIS.
2-1. Transition level flight level 60. Acknowledge received information Bravo on first con. This is Frankfurt information Bravo. Departing runway 25 center in 18. Landing runway 25 left ILS approach. Surface wind 270 degrees at 8 knots. Visibility 6 kilometers. Rain. Cloud overcast 800 feet. Temperature 26. Dew point 18. QNH 1021. Transition level flight level 60. Acknowledge received information Bravo on first contact.
Bravo. Okay. Oh, by the way, yeah, 2345 is always...
This is Frankfurt information Bravo.
Always
departing runway 25 center.
On a FSiPanel. He's got the tower freak set, and that should be ground. And I mean, I think it's actually ramp, so apron. So let's take a look at where we are. We are here at Delta 1. We're taking off on 25 center. According to the lesson plan, we're going to get pushed. Yes, I looked at the lesson plan. We're going to go straight ahead on November all the way around. It's a wrapping around to Lima, then Lima 1, hold short. And hold short is really before you make that turn. If we take a look at the flight plan now, we are filed on the Sobra 9 Foxtrot. So we come in here, the SID, Sobra 9 Foxtrot. Let's see, it is for 25 center. There it is. Oh, the bugs, we check all that. We're going to check the box in a second. 250 below 10, contact, Langley radar when advised by tower radar. The SIDs are also noise abatement procedures, and it is. Okay, let's go to the box because I want to see one thing here. Engine out acceleration. It says engine out acceleration height. I'm going to put in 1100 because I'm not really happy with that. Not sure what that one is. Excel height, thrust reduction, the field elevation is guys, it's all you gotta do is put in 1500. We'll put in 800 here. 800 Excel height and a European departure be 3000, and thrust reduction would normally be 1500 for a European departure. That's that. There's that. Let's do our flight plan. Going to go to our NIT reference ident. Oh, today is July 12th, so our database is current. We're right in their position. It's right there. If you want, you can put in the airport. It's not procedure anymore. It used to always be. I'm kind of old school. EDDF route, EDDF EGLL runway 25 center, British Airways flight 903. I'll copy the route. Next page, Sober 9 Foxtrot, and we just check that with our routing, and it's wonderful. And that does put in our arrival, the Logan arrival into Heathrow. But I'm going to leave Captain Marvel over here on legs, which will be customary. I'll be flying, so I'll keep myself on takeoff. So I got the weather set, the gate set, and the bug set. Don't touch any of those. I did touch the engine out acceleration. Flaps 5 takeoff. All right, and I did know that I think it was a TO2, TO2 climb, and TO takeoff. Okay, that sounds good. Glass shield control panel. I'm sorry, that's my MD-11 stuff. I've been working on that over there. Mode control panel, 5,000 runway headings in there, and for 25 center, and V2 is 158. He's got LNAV, BNAV set. We should be ready. Let's go to clearance. Didn't really get any frequencies here, so we're going to figure this out. Go to taxi. Come. Oh. Frankfurt clearance. This is British Airways 903 gate Delta 1 at Terminal 2. Information Bravo. Request clearance.
Speedbird 903 uniform delivery. Guten Morgen. Cleared on Heathrow Asphalt. 25 centered. Sobra 9 Foxtrot departure. And your scope 4621.
Speedbird 903 uniform. We cleared to London Heathrow as filed. 25 center departure. Sobra 9 Foxtrot. Squawk 4621.
Speedbird 903 uniform. Readback is correct. When ready for push, contact apron 121.655. Schönen Tag.
Okay, when ready for pushback, apron on 121.655. Speedbird 903. See how many times I'm going to say American, right, guys? All right, let's set the squawk 4621. So the radio panel here. All right. You know, when I came on, started Flight Sim about a little over a year ago, I ended up over at P3D flying this bad boy, 4621 TARA, because I was getting too confused at work flying all the different airplanes. Let's see if he got the radio set for us. And it's 21655. Yes, thank you. And let's do the checklist before we get going here. All right, flight deck door. I don't know. Tell me, yeah. Secure. We say closed and secure. Passenger sign. It's on. Nav lights are on. Okay. Takeoff speeds we talked about ad nauseum. CDU pre-flight we talked about. Trim. Typically you go with the takeoff page 4.75. 4.75 is set. Oh, JP over at FSiPanel, you're the best, buddy. It's kind of funny, you know, it kind of throws you off a little bit. You're so used to doing it, your rhythm gets a little messed up, but man, it's nice. Taxi and takeoff brief, we talked about that. Beacon we'll do in a second. Let's call him. And apron, Speedbird 903, like to push back, Delta 1, information Bravo.
Speedbird 903 uniform, apron, guten Morgen. Push and start approved, facing east on November.
Push and start approved, facing east on November, Speedbird 903. I am not going to try to say guten Morgen. You guys don't want to hear me do that, guys. Trust me. So let's do something. I've got this checklist thing set before start. That's a little, remember I told you I hired an FO? And you see the hydraulic pumps coming on, the fuel pumps are coming on, the beacon's coming on. Nice. Nice. That's the before start engine checklist. And we just got to go GSX.
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
And prepare for pushback. All right, so let's talk about, while they get everything in set for us here, guys. It says TCAS is off. While they get this here, radios. Did I not? Oh man, I thought I got it over there. I guess I didn't.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Thank you. Engine out proceeds. While these guys get ready, we'll take a look outside and make sure all our doors are shut and all that stuff. Let's go to our electronic flight bag before we tube our head of us. I'm not going to do a lot with this today, guys, because I've got it all pre-canned. Ground operations, chocks are released. Door management.
Checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
They're all closed, disarm, arm all. Yep, they're all armed. Good. Ground service vehicles, ground connections. This, I'm going to go to the overhead. Yeah, it throws you off a little bit when you have a helper like this. Sort of like the old captain showing up to the airplane. Go outside, and when you showed up to the airplane, it's we don't need anti-ice, by the way. It's 21 degrees out there. 26 degrees Celsius. It's above 10. Look at this beautiful airplane. Wow. I'm so impressed with you guys. All you developers, TFDi, you guys too. Love you guys. You guys are rock stars, man. Unbelievable. All right. We got it. Let's go here. Nose right.
Release parking brakes, please. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Okay, overhead. Oh, both the auto starts on. We'll start the right one first. Start. Packs are off. Pressure's good. Switches up. Monitor the start. On our way to Heathrow. Kinda. Very excited about this. So it's a training for engine out, just like you would on recurrent training in the airlines. That's what this is. While the engine start, we'll talk about that. Okay, guys. This machine has a thing called a TAC, a thrust asymmetry compensation computer. On the ground, it will take out. You lose an engine, fail an engine. It'll take out almost all of it. It doesn't take out all of the yaw because it wants the pilots to know which engine failed without looking at the instruments. So it takes out 90% of it. If there's a 10% difference in the thrust, it'll kick in. Once you're airborne, though, it will take the rest out, and you can get the autopilot on at 200 feet. Pretty good. You can auto land this thing down to Cat 3 minimums, 300 feet visibility. Engine out. Pretty cool. We'll have to run a bunch of checklists to get to that position, but I just think that was fantastic. I remember the first time I got on this thing, I could not believe that was the case. All right, so engine started. Let's go back to the overhead. Start the left side. Packs are off. Pressure's up. Monitor the start. I've got about 2,000 hours on this. I flew for 5 years. Type rating 7.6, 7.5, 7.3, A300-600, MD-11, and I did some engineer time. Super 80, I was a captain check airman on that. GSX. That's my
Cockpit
profile. 21,000 hours.
Start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
What does that make me? It makes me primed to embarrass myself. I don't care who you are. when you go into recurrent training. It's nerve-wracking, even if you're the most experienced pilot. It just is. Okay, 2 normal starts. Everything looks good. Let's get checklist going. What we can do is our little, see if we can get that going. After start, it's going to go flaps 5, and you'll see the APU get shut down. There it goes. APU's being turned off. Flaps coming to 5. Beautiful. No engine ice.
Truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
Let's do our flight controls.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
You hang on to the nose gear while you do this as a captain. Then the FO says knees and nuts clear, and moves the yoke. That goes back as old as time. Nice and smooth. 6 seconds stop to stop. That just goes easy on the flight controls, and also prevents the banging noise in the back, which you could actually hear it. All right, so we got to go to RTO. RTO. Looks like they're out there. Wave to me, my friend. There you go. And I'll wave to you. How's that? Yep, see ya. Take care. Thank you. And let's do the checklist. Normals. Anti-ice was not required. This guy already checked this, but you go recall. Anything that's wrong would pop up there. Flight controls are checked. Ground equipment is clear. Normals. For takeoff, flaps are already 5. We got a few more things to check on the way out. And that's after takeoff. And typically what we do, guys, is we clear it. All right, let's get going. And Frankfurt ground, British Speedberg 903, off gate D1 taxi.
Speedberg 903 uniform, taxi November, 8 Lima taxiway.
Taxi November, hold short of Lima, Speedberg 903. Okay, Lima, November, hold short of Lima. So go up here, make the turn, and hold short of Lima taxiway, which is part of the ramp. Here we go. Clear left, clear right, and I would say I have a salute. All right, here we go. What could go wrong? Yeah, great job, PMDG. I got nothing. I've been very involved with the TFDi project, another fine machine that I'm proud to have been part of. I'll tell you what it does, though. It gives you an incredibly inside look at an incredible amount of respect. Cycling the parking brakes, get myself moving. For how difficult it is for the developers to accurately get this model going. I really do. I just couldn't believe it. I started working for TFDi as an unpaid intern, quality assurance pilot back 10 months ago, and it's been eye-opening. Those guys are great. Really appreciate the opportunity they gave me to have an inside look. I'll continue to support them in whatever capacity they need. I'm so thankful for that. So we're going to make the right-hand turn here, but we're going to hold short of Lima. Let's get a little...
Bird 903 uniform, continue taxi ordering point Lima 1 via Lima. When ready, contact tower 119.905. Shunpug.
Okay, continue taxi via to holding point Lima 1 via Lima. We'll contact tower 1905 when ready. Speedbird 903. All right, so Lima, right? Let me go here. And we're going to go down to Lima 1. I should probably have that taxi view diagram out. There we got a little ways to go. All right, flight attendants prepare for takeoff. Takeoff briefing. All right, it's my takeoff. We're going to go runway heading. We'll keep it in LNAV and VNAV departure. We got a 5,000 foot transition, so our first flight level 60. A good min sector is 4,600 feet, so in the event of an engine loss, let's do 5,000 feet. We'll ask for straight ahead 5,000, and 5,000 is a good altitude to go there. I'm going to go on the min range here, so we get the extended center line of the runway when we go. We'll track out on the extended center line of the runway, which is a 246 course. And glacier control panel set and check. Glacier control panel, mode control panel is checked. All right, here's Lima 1, and we got to hold short, which is right here. And tower, Speedbird 903, holding short at Lima 1.
Speedbird 903 uniform, tower, schönen guten Morgen. Runway 25, center, Lima 1, line up and wait. Expect departure in around 1 minute.
Okay, line up and wait, runway 25 center. We'll expect that. Speedbird 903. All right, guys, let me do the little line up and wait checklist here. Line up flow, it's going to put the lights on, packs on. We'll take a look at what else it gets. We still have to do the chime for the people, let them know takeoff's imminent. Oh, when I get out here, I'll take a look at everything. All right, this looks like 25 center to me. Yeah, this PMDG on P3D platform it actually helped me for my recurrent training. That's study level, that's what it was like. Just really, really valuable training aid. All right, yeah, the nose is right where the speed tape is. A little bit crooked, but we're good. Let's go to the overhead, make sure Charlie got everything. All right, he's got that on, wings on, strobes are on. We'll just chime them. Good.
Speedbird 903 uniform, wind 2708 knots, runway 25 center, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff 25 center, Speedbird 903 uniform. All right, guys, so I'm going to go power about 15%, parking brake is off. And when I get there, I'm going to hit the toga switch, which is this little screw right there. There we go, here we go. Power set.
Airspeed's alive.
We don't need any wipers. It's going to be blowing off here in no time.
80 knots.
Check. Throttles hold.
V1.
And rotate.
Rotate.
Engine fire, my aircraft.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. Where do you get the engine? Left engine fire. Now we've got full rudder control by the TAC system. Above 200 feet, autopilot's on. And mayday, 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 Speedbird 903. We've had an engine failure. Let's go runway heading to 5,000. And that's it. And let's do a checklist. I think what I'm going to do is go flight level change. Set speed up here. I'm going to go heading select. And 246 track. There we go. And flaps up. Flaps 1. Slats for track. And mayday, mayday, Speedbird 903 and departure layout of 3,000, 5,000 have an engine fire.
Speedbird 903 uniform, mayday acknowledged. Continue as per your company procedures and contact Longen Radar 136.130.
Continue via company procedures 136.130 Speedbird 903. All right, guys, let's not worry about this. Let's go auto throttle left engine off. We've got a checklist here to do. Left throttle idle, left throttle to idle, Left fuel control switch cut off. Fuel control switch cut off. Very good, very good. Left fire handle pull. Pull. Fire light remains illuminated. Turn and hold. Turn and hold. Start the clock. And wait a minute. Come down here. And there we go. And departure Speedbird 903 is out of 4,500 for 5,000 Mayday aircraft.
Speedbird 903 uniform Langen radar. Hello, identified. Continue as per your company procedures. And report ready for left turn. Expect ILS 25 left.
We'll report ready for left turn. We'll expect ILS 25 left. Company procedure Speedbird 903. All right, guys. Let's fire light is out, so we don't have to blow the other bottle. Is the engine, go back here. Is the engine fire stay shown? No. Left fire switch, we did all that. After we fired that. APU selector on. Let's go to the overhead. APU selector on. Remember, one guy's flying the airplane, the other guy is running the checklist. Transponder TA only. Let's go to the radios. And go TA only. TA only, because we really can't do an RA in this condition. We're level at 5,250 knots. And Speedbird 903, we can take a turn to downwind, sir.
Roger, Speedbird 903 uniform. Turn left heading 090 and expect ILS 25 left via Charlie. Charlie Hotel Alpha.
Okay, Speedbird 903, turn left 090, expect the ILS via Charlie Hotel Alpha. All right, 25 left Charlie Hotel Alpha, transition back to the checklist. Plan to land near suitable, yes, we'll do that. Landing flaps 20, yes. Ground sensitivity flap override, switch to override. All right, ground sensitivity flap override, switch to override. I almost didn't remember where that was. I'll quickly forget. Override, checklist is complete. Now what we do, guys, is also, this is non-normal checklist, unenunciated checklist. You would do overweight landing checklist if you had one, emergency landing checklist, if there is one, exit menu, ditching, evacuation, fuel, sometimes you checklist. We'd contact company. I'd do the box, then we'll brief the flight attendants. Right now I'd call back to the flight attendants 4 chimes and tell them, hey, it's Captain Jeff, and we have had an engine fire. We've shut down the engine and everything looks good. We're not planning an evacuation. We should be on ground in 6 minutes. This is your precautionary landing briefing. You have any questions for me? No, sir. All right, very good. We got the weather. Let's set up the box, and I'm having Bob over there fly. So I'm going to go init, index. I'm just going to go INET, position init, route, and go previous page. I like to do this, and I put it up here. Now we got EDDF. It clears out the whole flight plan that way, guys. Then when you go departure arrival, we're going to go ILS 25 left. ILS 25 left. And that's the transition. Looks good. Box looks good.
Speedbird 903 uniform, proceed direct Charlie. Assistance will be ready for you on arrival.
Speedbird 903, clear direct Charlie Hotel Alpha. Should have cleared all these things. That's a simism, guys. Absolutely simism. So once you click it once, though, now you got to come all the way to the top. That didn't work out. Too fast for my own good, right? That's on the mist. Charlie. There we go. Execute. And we go LNAV. There we go. Let's make the range a little wider. All right, so we've told ATC, we've told the company, and the way we tell the company is we go through the comm panel. APU's running, passenger signs are on, and I make a PA to the people. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Captain Richard. Unfortunately, we've had an aircraft malfunction that warrants us to return to Frankfurt. We should be on the ground here in just about 6 minutes. Please follow the instructions closely by the flight attendants, since they're only going to have a few minutes to prepare for landing. Once we get on the runway, we'll have more information for you, but no reason to be alarmed. But the regulations, European regulations, do require us to return to Heathrow. Sorry for the inconvenience. Be on that ground here very shortly. Flight attendants are notified. Companies notified via ACARS, just telling them to let them know we need the ARF equipment. We would tell these guys that we need the fire and rescue equipment. And the intention, we tell them the fire was out, SOL on board, fuel on board is about 3.5 hours, SOL's on board 270. All right, so we're LNAV in it, VNAV path, brief the approach. Okay, it's the approach, Frankfurt, ILS 25 left. In the event of missed approach, Speedberg 903 would like to go runway heading 5000. Speedberg 903, roger, that's approved. We don't want to be maneuvering around. All right, ILS 25 left. I mentioned we are good for Cat 3, but we got plenty of weather. Cabin says they're ready. ILS 25 left. I'd have him flying, by the way. 11.6, 5 July 24. 111.5, 246. Let's make sure the box figured that out. 111.5, 246. DH is 200 feet above the ground. Get that set.
Speedbird 903 uniform, are you ready for the approach?
I'll press number 1. Affirm we're ready, Speedbird 903. I'm just going to press 1, enter it, I guess. Oh, I guess I got to click on it. There we go.
Roger, Speedbird 903 uniform, cleared ILS 25 left via Charlie.
Speedbird 903 cleared ILS 25 left via Charlie. Alright guys, so we can go LNAV, VNAV, speed intervene, and we'll just bring down the altitude. Right down, we can bring it right down to MINS, which is, so we got LNAV, VNAV path, speed intervene, slats extend, bring out the flaps, and I'll go to 210 initially. And we can set the minimums, which are 561, which is 200 above the ground. It's good enough. All right, path. So it should descend, and when it comes down, over Charlie is 5,000. It maintains 5,000 all the way around to DF62, and we can check that in the box. DF62 5, DF681. Yeah. And by the way, I'm proficient at this. You guys can take your time. You could have gone in holding and hung out, but I kind of know how to do this stuff right up until I don't, right? And then 4,000 the intercept, and that's all checks out. One more thing to check on here, of course, is the missed approach, but we have requested to runway heading 5,000. I'm not really sure that FSiPanel is going to let us do that, but we'll see. We could always fly it in LNAV if we wanted. Missed approach, we're going to do this flap 20, so we're going to go. We'll have flaps 15 on the base leg. When it's geared out, when the glide slope's 1.5, we'll go gear down, flaps 20. That'll be our final flaps. And our flaps 20 speed is 146. And we'll set brakes too. Plenty of runway. No need to dump. And we're controlling the airspeed manually, but we are in VNAV path, so it should follow ours all the way down very nicely. Somewhere as we turn to final, we'll execute the LNAV. As I mentioned, we can go down We can auto land if I did the set up for Cat 3 with one engine, which I think is great. We have 2 generators because we have the APU started, so it really isn't that thing. See the fuel imbalance? If you want to balance the fuel, you can. I wouldn't recommend getting into it right now. I'm not in a big hurry. Plenty of fuel companies notified. We have the weather, we have the approach, and it's briefed. 200 is the mins. You know, is that Obaro? You know what? He had that set for me. 561. Thanks, JP. I think I'll just go on the radio. It's doing a nice job flying it in. Right. At 601, everything looks, the fire is out. Definitely. There it is, 591. Hardest part of flight simming is setting the mins. Really is. Yeah, so we're just basically LNAV, VNAV, and we're flying like a non-ILS in with flaps 1. As I mentioned, we turn on to final. I'll get flaps 5, and I'll get speed deck down around 180. You don't want to get yourself rushed, but if we have to go around, it's going to be positive rate. We're going around Toga right here, right? Little screw up here. Positive rate gear up, set misapproach altitude, and misapproach altitude is going to be 5,000, and then it's hopefully runway heading 5,000, so we'll go heading select. But if we have to fly LNAV, VNAV at 400 feet, we'll go LNAV, and at the 1,000 feet we can go VNAV. That's kind of the procedures that they use. I think I need to go in here. It's getting a little dark since we took off. Let's go all the way up on the master bright, like that. That's better. It's almost too bright, isn't it? Yeah, the most important thing is who's flying the airplane. So you start off with my aircraft, so somebody's always flying the airplane at all times. That's their only job. Then at 200 feet, you can get the autopilot on. Either autopilot works, either side. Doesn't have to be the good engine. And then it's 400 feet, you can start fighting the fire. No hurry to do it. More important to fly the airplane. And if the procedure was auto throttle, you just follow, call up the checklist, and you follow it. Here's a problem here on this, though. And this is actually exactly the same problem in the aircraft. You get this, right? And fuel and balance, don't worry about that right now. Normal, I'm going to go checklist override. Otherwise, checklist override, you'll have a checklist incomplete message. All right, at or above 4, so we're good. Now in here, you could set arm the approach. See, it's coming down nice and slowly in path on the VTI. Yeah, it's got a little bit of an imbalance there. Always do something good before you do something bad. You can open up one cross feed. This is the low one, right? So we're burned off the left tank there. We'll do that for a while. I don't know why the lighting is not as good as I would like it. Definitely isn't. Here comes the glide path. It's a dot and a half gear down, and speed below 225, flaps 20. And now we can bring the speed back.
Speedbird 903 uniform, contact tower 118.780, see ya.
118.780, see ya. Speedbird 903. All right, what is our final approach speed? 120, it's 160. Tower Speedbird 903 is on final Mayday aircraft for 27 left.
Speedbird 903 uniform tower, guten Morgen, wind 280, 6 knots runway, 25 left, clear to land.
Clear to land, 25 left, Speedbird 903. Clear to land. All right, flaps 20 to go. Checklist. Speed brakes. Let's arm the speed brakes. Gonna have to pull that back. Speed brakes are on, 4 landing checklist complete, and we are clear to land. All right, so 160 is our final. We'll plan on stopping straight ahead, having ground look us over. If we look good, we'll just clear and taxi the runway if everything looks good. Taxi back to the gate. We'll plan on coming up Lima. Make a PA to the people on the ground. First thing you do when you stop the aircraft is you say, you don't want people jumping up, pulling doors, or flight attendants evacuating. So you just say, this is the captain, remain seated, remain seated, remain seated. And then either the FO or the captain communicates with the fire chief out there, ARF equipment. How does it look? Looks good. They say, we'll follow you to the gate, and you're good. So we got low capture, glide slope capture coming on in.
Radio altimeter.
Radio altimeter's alive. So if you got to go around, guys, once again, it's Toga, right up here. Going around Toga, flaps 15. Normal go around, it's flaps 20, but on the engine-out, it's flaps 15. Positive rate, gear up, set approach altitude, which is 5,000. You either fly at an LNAV, which you go back into at 400 feet, and then 1,000 you clean it up in VNAV, or if he gives you runway heading, you have a heading select at 400 feet, and flight level change at 1,000 feet. So 2 different ways. We just lost the localizer. I have the runway though. I do have the runway. 7 left. We probably should go around here. Let's go around Toga. I'm going to go heading select, guys. And Speedbird, positive brake, you're up. Speedbird 903 is executing missed approach. Our localizer went off the air.
Our copy, the Speedbird 903, continue runway heading, climb 5,000 feet and contact Longan radar 136.130. See you later.
Speedbird 903, runway heading 5,000, we'll contact radar 136.130. All right, guys, we're going to go level change up to 5,000 right here, which I never set the missed approach altitude. That's bad. So we're going to go level change 5,000. We got runway heading set. So we get heading select. Yeah, the one thing I didn't do is I should have had missed approach airspeed altitude set, and we can bring this up to 250. 210's fine. And Speedbird 903 Mayday aircraft on the missed approach. Uh-oh.
Our copy, the Speedbird 903, continue runway heading, climb 5,000 feet and contact Longan radar 136.130. See you later.
And we got it. And Speedbird 903 is on the missed approach out of 4,000 for 5,000.
Speedbird
I don't know why I didn't
903
answer you before.
uniform, London
My
radar.
fault.
Hello again. Continue horn waiting. Plan 5,000 feet, and you can expect RNB Yankee runway 25 left via Charlie.
Okay, Speedbird 903. Continue runway heading 5,000. We'll expect RNP Yankee 25 left via Charlie. All right, so guys, let's debrief. We'll set that up in a minute. We'll just do 210 here.
Speedbird 903 uniform, turn left to Charlie.
Turn left to Charlie, Speedbird 903 uniform. All right, let's go back in here, guys. Back to the box. Purchase arrivals. EDDF. RNAV 25 left. Let me see the approach, and I'm just going to say, oh, I never see that. I think that's Charlie. It's good. And we're going to go down to the box. I'm going to go direct, legs. Next page, next page. That's good. Okay. So I'm going to go direct and select Charlie. Bring that up to the top. Looks good. Come back up here and go LNAV. Here we go. Normal checklist. We're going to go descent checklist, checklist override, and normals after takeoff, checklist override. Half the problem is getting these things to reset. Approach checklist is normal. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, it's Captain Richard. I apologize for the go around. We had a navigation equipment on the ground for Frankfurt going operative, so we had to take it around, and we're just coming back around for another approach. Weather's fine. We'll be landing here shortly. Flight attendants, prepare for landing, please. All right, let's take a look at the overhead, at the fuel, because we're burning that other fuel here. We've got 8.0 and 7.9. That's good. Let's set our panel back up. Do something good before we do something bad. So we turn on the pumps, then the fuel control unit. All right, looks good. Well, let's look up the RNAV for this approach. RNAV Zulu 25 left. Check it against the box. On our Zulu 25 left. CHA at 5. It's pretty much what we just flew. 682 at 5 or above. 681 5 or above. Coming in 628, 624,000. Going down to category C, LNAV, VNAV, 747. That sounds familiar. All right, let's go through this gyration again. 747. Get the barrows set. In the airplane, it's very easy to set it, guys. And I might be able to spin it with my mouse wheel here and do a little better. Now, should I be doing 250 and hustling on the ground? Not in my opinion. I've got the flaps at 1. And there's really no reason to hustle around there. I apologize if I'm saying some wrong terms. Like I said, I've been flying MD-11 a lot. So the mode control panel becomes the glare shield control panel, and LNAV becomes nav, and VNAV becomes profile. Yeah, I really had to, finally I got my min set there. I really had, when I was actively flying, I really had to make sure that I went to P3D only through the 777, PMDG 777, because I was flying so many airplanes, I was getting the work going. Which button is that? What do I push here? That really was a problem. As the guys who watched my videos from a year ago know, I had to cut that out. So it was a relief when I retired that I could fly whatever I wanted. But now that the PMDG 777's here, I'm getting back into it. Amazing how rusty you get to start. For instance, when I went around there, engine out, I went positive rate gear up. It should have gone flaps 20, flaps 15, positive rate gear up. I left the flaps 20, which is a normal go round. toga, flaps up. Positive brake, gear up, set missed approach altitude. I should have done that 5,000, and I didn't. So when I was established on glide path, I had to set 5,000. I should have set 5,000. And in the event of missed approach, Speedbird 903 like to go runway heading 5,000, and he would say yes, sure. But in the box, that's a little bit different. It says big left-hand turn, so we get permission to go straight ahead and maintain 5,000. All right, FMC, there's a message. Alternate list update. Nah, I don't want to do that. How are we doing on the fuel? 15.5, and our reserve plus alternate. Reserve plus alternate is 15.4. So we're right there. We're right there. Going to Manchester, so.
Speedbird 903 uniform, are you ready for the approach?
Affirm, we're ready. Speedbird 903 uniform.
Roger, Speedbird 903 uniform, you are cleared LNP Yankee 25 left via Charlie.
Speedbird 903 uniform, we're cleared the RMP Yankee 25 left via Charlie. So you guys heard it first, right? 747, and I think I might have set Zulu. Not that it really matters. Yankee, this, that. Yankee, come back to the box, legs. Looks good. LNAV in it. And execute it. Looks good. All right, so we get the minimum set. Let's make sure that our minimums are good. Yankee is 747 still. Everything else is the same. 55444, so that's all the same. And misapproach is the same. All right, so same thing. I'll get on base legs somewhere in there. I'll get flaps 15 technique. You could just leave your flaps at 1. You could leave them at 5. But base leg, I usually like to start slowing down 180, and I'll get flaps 5. Box speeds, flaps 20, and the venomous approach, it's going around toga, flaps 15, positive rate gear up, set approach altitude 5,000, and then we'll have to head right over to our alternate. That's the alternate, actually. Manchester on arrival. What am I talking about? Here, Frankfurt, we have enough time to do a couple more approaches because we're local. We could actually get dispatched to give us a good alternate here in case the weather went down, but the weather's fine. So that's at our destination. Here we have plenty of fuel. All right, there we go. LNAV, VNAV. I'm going to put it on VNAV and then speed intervene. 2 buttons and 2 windows. I'm going to get this back to 180. I'm going to go flaps 5. Bring the speed back. There's flaps 1. It comes flaps 5. We can go down to 180. I'll go 190. It's kind of tight. 2 buttons, 2 windows. LNAV, VNAV, minimums, and speed. 2 buttons, LNAV, VNAV, minimums or speed intervene, and altitude, which is your minimums. Let me get path here. That's good. Here we go, making our turn. Should be maintaining, probably start down here shortly. We can get a little slower because flaps 5 speeds like 180. Let's go 180. A lot of guys in here will go flaps 15. Remember, we're going to go gear down flaps 20. 1 dot, 1.5 dots. That's technique. Runway heading set. We've got to make sure that when we're inside the FAF, which is 620. As long as you're 300 feet below the missed approach altitude, which is 5, you can set the missed approach altitude, which I didn't do on the ILS, and that caused some confusion on the go-around. Good training. Bad example, good training. All right, checklist should be going good. Landing, speed brakes are still armed, and gear and flaps to go. Yeah, so when I lost on final there, when I lost my localizer and glide slope, I had the runway, and I was coming in, and then it kind of looked like it was scud layer there, that I might have been in and out, and I thought, this is stupid. Let's take it around. I did a single engine go around, forgot to go flaps 15, but, and brought it back around nice and stable. I guess that's, there's a fuel imbalance again. 8 and 7, that's fine. We'll land with it like that, guys. If we go around, we'll rebalance it, but I don't want to mess with it now. It's 1,000 pounds difference, that's within limits. But if you want to review that, cross feed, do something good before you do something bad, just open one cross feed, you turn off the low one, and it burns it. I mean, we can do it. I don't like to be cross feeding on landing. Just don't. You can see it's flashing down here in the corner. Or you can't see. So I got FSiPanel up there. It's flashing to tell you have an imbalance. And it calls up the fuel quantity because of your imbalance. But it's only 1,200 pounds. Once again, we'll stop straight ahead on the runway. Have fire and rescue look us over. If it looks good, we'll probably take a right and get off at Lima. And we'll be using flaps, brakes 2 for the brakes. And that's it. I'll make a PA when we land. Legitimate captain, remain seated, remain seated, remain seated. That's really to keep the flight attendants from starting an evacuation. Now they have the authority to start an evacuation if they think the safety there's a fire back there. They don't hear from us. Okay, here we go. Just turning. Just a beautiful airplane. What we usually do too on the box, guys, is we usually go here, and on page 4 we put in 125, and this is so that our vertical track indicator is plus or minus 50 feet. And over here we put in the actual RNP, which is 0.3. But it assumes 0.3. Usually we only put in something if it's below 0.3. Which this one is not. No, it's a point. It's a, and we also got a 3-degree glide path. RNP is 0.3. Pappy's run the left, by the way. All right, we got LNAV and VNAV paths, so it should be coming down here shortly. And we don't have a dot and a half, do we? Because we are not on an ILS. This looks like top of descent there. You see it in green? There's the top of descent. About a 1,500 pound imbalance, not an issue. Really isn't. All right, here comes the VTI. I'm going to go gear down. Flaps 20. For our landing checklist, please. And I'll set the speed. 160. On a real check ride, the check airman sim pilot will usually tell you to take off the autopilot once you're established on glide slope inside the FAF and hand fly it down. In the real airplane, at Cat 3, we'd auto land out of it. No time being, you know, macho. If you take a look at the vertical track indicator, by setting 125, you get that plus or minus 50, which is the requirement on the vertical. And here we're getting a 0.3 on the horizontal. If you want a 0.1, this will get a lot tighter. And if the satellites went down, you might get an unable RNP, and you'd have to go around. Long final. There's a great profile, JP, from FSiPanel, guys. I will leave in the link a link to that, him. All right, so there we go. We are inside the FAF. So I'm going to set 5,000 in the window. We're inside the FAF, and we're at least 300 feet below. The reason you want to do that is because you want to make sure you don't do it earlier. It'll start climbing up. All right, got a DH of 747. We got permission. Runway heading 5,000. We reviewed, and that's flight attendants prepared for landing in the back. And we usually keep the landing checklist screen blank. Actually, even keep it more blank than that. Turn off the engine. Just in case anything comes up, it pops up. Beautiful job.
Speedbird 903 uniform, contact tower 119er decimal 905, Charles.
119 and 905, Charles. Speedbird 903 uniform. Thanks for your help. 119 and 905, there it is. And Frankfurt Tower, Speedbird 903 uniform. Mayday aircraft is on final for 25 left RNF.
Speedbird 903 uniform tower, hello again. The wind is 2807 knots, runway 25 left. Clear to land, and please stop on the runway. Fire brigade will meet you there.
Clear to land 25 left, and we'll stop on the runway for Speedbird 903 uniform. All right. We can do that. One last check of everything. We usually clear these malfunctions, guys. And then when we go like this, recall it again, anything that's wrong will come up. Right there, and you read it. It says, check this non-normal. Yeah, there's a whole fuel dump checklist if you wanted to do that. Of course, we don't want it. We didn't have any fuel to speak of. All sorts of unplanned landing checklist, which basically has you call the FAA, call the company, make the PA the people, consider flap override, make sure you got all these things. All right, we got to go around. Let's do a little better job. Make sure we get those flaps to 15 as we do it. Then it'll be heading select and flight level change at 1,000. Heading select at 400, flight level change at 1,000. There's our radio altimeter, 1,000 feet. Looking for the lights, inside, outside, or 300 above. Now more like 500 above. You can keep the autopilots all the way down to DA on. If you're the weather's below 1,003, they mandate that you keep it down until the runway's in sight. Keep it on. Runway in sight.
500.
Stable target, sinking 7. I'll let it get a little bit clearer. I don't know if they have white.
Above. Decide.
Autopilot's off. Wipers work, nice. A little flatter pitch angle. A little higher pitch angle, I'm sorry.
100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
All right, 1 in reverse would be the call. We used to call no reverse left engine. Come on, let's get in the center line now. All right. Gently bring the aircraft to a stop. Remember, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm not going to park the brakes just yet. I can park it. We're lightweight. Brakes are parked. Go to the overhead. Flight attendant, it's your captain. Remain seated, remain seated, remain seated. Now the fire brigade is going to come up to us. There they are.
Hi guys, JP, welcome to Frankfurt. You made it safe. You see that you can fly single engine on the 777 by PMDG without any issue. So that's good. I hope you enjoyed the scenario. If you have any question or comment, please drop it in the Discord channel or in the forum. Thank you for flying it, and see you soon for another scenario. Bye-bye.
All right, guys, that's cool. That's the end of the scenario. I hope you enjoyed it. It wasn't perfect, but I hope you learned something. I sure did. Don't forget to get FSiPanel. It's under $50. It's the best app I've ever bought, other than Navigraph, in my life. This thing is the best training aid, the best, most responsive organization, great Discord. But anyway, that's it. We would taxi to the gate when they cleared us. And of course, we clean up the airplane here too. Let me go in here. And actually, you know what you can do? You can actually, what's this? Yeah. It's running the after landing checklist. There it is. After landing checklist. All right. That's it. Father Time, also known as Jeff Richard. Really appreciate you guys. Welcome back to Frankfurt. All right. Father Time is out. Thanks a lot, guys.